Hello and welcome on back on into OBS class. We are on class number 10 right now, and we've gone over like quite a bit. Happy Thursday for everybody whenever you're watching this video, because this will also be in my OBS tips and tricks playlist. If you want to go check that out on the channel, that would really mean a lot to me. Prissy, welcome on in. Great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Basically, like, the reason why I wanted to like start this series, I've said it before and I'll say it again, is because, you know, there has been a lot of people that have asked me over the past 4.5 years, you know, how I do X, Y, and Z. And honestly, it's reaching out to other creators here on YouTube and figuring out like what works, what doesn't. There's a lot of videos on this platform that go over a lot of things when it comes to OBS. Now, I'm not here to say that I know each and every single thing about it. That's why I always say you learn, I learn, we all learn together on our content creating journey, because ultimately there's a lot of people that go above and beyond when it comes to coding, making their own widgets through Stream Elements, or they make their own coding through streamer bots and other, like, you know, other add-ons that you can implement with your streaming experience. And if you are watching this live, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Or if you're watching the recording, just make sure, it really meant a lot if you pound that like button, hit the share, and, you know, subscribe to the channel for more content. I know that I haven't been releasing a lot of content as far as short to long form videos, because I've been working on a charity event that I'm going to be hosting on December 16th. So if you'd like to stop by there, my Twitch link is in the description down below. It really means a lot. We're going to be supporting Starlight Children's Foundation and their charity organization. But as every single live stream that I do on this channel, the beginning part will be me talking to the live chat. And throughout this video, if you see, you know, me answering questions and everything else, that's why I always encourage others to join in on the live streams, because I do answer live Q&A questions. So if you have something, you know, that's streamer related, it could be OBS, it could be Stream Elements, streamer bots, or it could be OBS plugins, or something that maybe you even have an idea that I can sort of like show you how you can do it. Like, I'm all for it. So in the beginning of this, you can skip ahead if you're watching this recording. You can skip ahead on the video a little bit, and I'm going to talk to, you know, chat real quick, and then we'll dive into today's class, which we're going to be talking about Adam's TV, which you've probably seen like all like throughout this platform on YouTube. Everyone's been talking about this vertical plugin, and for good reason. But before we do that, I want to talk to chat, so I'll see y'all in a sec. Prissy, thank you again for being here. I appreciate it. How's it going, Mark City Game? And hello, afternoon, MVK. Glad to see your face. Hey, always a pleasure to see you as well. Thank you so much for stopping on in. I hope you're doing well. Me, I started off my day. I woke up, made some eggs and bacon. I did my morning workouts, and then I've been working on some videos and some shorts as well. I finally made a class. Yeah, you finally made it to the class. And we do this every other Thursday. I made it because I used to do this every Thursday, but it was getting way too overwhelming for me to do a YouTube live stream every Thursday. It was too much, really, because you know, those times where I couldn't prep for the class, like, okay, what am I going to talk about on today's, you know, video? And I've been doing a lot of research, and the one thing that I wanted to talk about was this vertical plugin, because I think it's phenomenal for YouTube Shorts, TikToks, Instagram Reels, and so many more things that you could use this for. Fetch, welcome on in. Afternoon, MVK. Sorry, I was still in my old YouTube for music. No worries. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. I just appreciate y'all stopping by. The only reason like I even remotely had the idea to even start this series was because everyone was telling me, even though there's videos out there explaining the exact same thing I'm explaining, I've been told multiple times that I'm decent at explaining things, which is ironic because I don't think I'm good at explaining things. But according to y'all that have been supporting the channel, the Madhouse family, like all my fellow heathens in this tavern of ours, everyone's been telling me that it has been absolutely very helpful watching the videos. And for that, I thank you. You know, like pressing the like button, sharing it with your friends, telling them about like what I do in the background and everything else and what you could potentially do in the future. I think that's absolutely amazing. So first and foremost, thank you for sharing and, you know, telling others about it, because I really want this to be a thing that blows up one day, like, you know, like over time, especially when it comes to the Q&A portion where, you know, we're helping out like fellow creators. I mean, like ultimately that's what the space is about, right? Like, you know, yeah, like I would love to, you know, I want this YouTube channel to grow and prosper. Like I want to focus on travel vlogs, OBS tutorials, and then possibly like reacting to videos and maybe bringing back My Words Are Hard. I did enjoy it, but the series, like I didn't promote it as well as I should have. Because like that's a, you know, that's a part of the process of doing this for a living. So I definitely need to like, you know, research and do a little bit better when it comes to promoting it on different social platforms as well. You do help us. Thank you. I'm glad I do, Prissy. Really, truly. You help me understand this so much more than others. Maybe because I actually listen to you and not to the others. Well, I mean, like, and that's the thing is, you know, everyone has like their person they go to where there's something that clicks in your brain and it just makes sense, right? I tell you how to cook a lasagna, right? Compared to a professional chef, right? The professional chef is going like wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. He's going like really fast pace. With me, I go at a very slow pace. So that way it's not too overwhelming. And I also try to do it in a fun way because, like, I don't know, no one wants to sit there and be like, okay, today we're learning about plugins for OBS. This is how we're going to do that. Like, you know, you gotta have fun with it. Yo, Brett, what's going on? Great to see you. How you been? Love your freaking face. It's been a while. I hope everything's been going well for you in your life. Exactly. You do it step by step. And a lot of people do. It's just like they go in a faster pace because ultimately, unfortunately, with the YouTube algorithm, they love short videos, like long-term videos. Like if you have a big community on YouTube, it can be, you know, it's easier to do long-form content like 40+ minute videos or 30+ minute videos where people are actually watching it all the way through. It's just, it's a weird thing, you know, like, and like I said in my community post, I'm going to try to post more on the YouTube channel as far as like creating posts where y'all can see it. Because honestly, like when it comes to YouTube and Twitch, like I understand like a lot of y'all do come from the Twitch channel, but I also want to build a community on YouTube as well. You know, that's more primarily focused on the OBS classes, the travel vlogs, and, you know, everything else I upload, or short form content of like, you know, possibly like some Twitch clips and other things that I'm thinking about going on. Hey, how's it going, Archive? Wrong account. Wait, what do you mean? You're gonna see me drink a lot of water during today's video because it's not that my voice is going out per se, but hydrating is just important. You know, I need to drink more water anyways, and it's good to, like, you know, take care of yourself and go above and beyond. But I am excited about today's video because, like, I'm really hoping that this, you know, I need to utilize it more. I don't utilize it enough. And I've also found out some tips and tricks that you can utilize if you have a stream deck as well. So if you have a stream deck, like Elgato stream deck, we're going to be going over that today. I was on my school. Oh, gotcha. I was like, okay, that's a, yeah, I figured as much. I figured as much, my dude. It's all good. Don't worry about it. But like I said, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and dive into today's class. Thank y'all again for being here. I hope that you're having a wonderful Thursday and it's treating you well. Sadly, no, I want one. Are you talking about when it comes to a stream deck? It is definitely helpful. I've seen a lot of people, like, it feels like they don't fully utilize it and they have like spaces on their buttons like that aren't being used, which doesn't make sense in my brain, you know, because it's just like a stream deck isn't just for streaming. You can utilize this on your everyday, you know, thing. You know, let's say that you're a video editor. You could press a button to open up your editing program. Number one, you could press a button to delete a certain section of like a clip or video. Like this can help you with editing. This can help you with, I mean, just so many things. Like it just goes on and on and on, you know. I'm going to be revamping mine. Yeah, like for me personally, I go over and beyond. I actually utilize two stream decks. One is the 15 button one and the other is the Stream Deck XL, which is the 32 button one, and all those buttons are being used. Like I definitely go 110% when it comes to the things that I'm doing. Macros are king, absolutely. Macros will always be king, especially in this, you know, especially in this industry. But without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and dive in. So, what is Atom's vertical plugin? So basically, imagine this. Imagine if you could have a plugin for OBS where you could actually record like short form content. So imagine, like, you know, you see all these YouTube videos, TikToks, Instagram reels and everything else where the camera's usually up here and then the gameplay videos down here. Imagine if you could record that or backtrack, you know, something epic that happened on your stream, and then it goes into a folder. And then you could automatically just like export that. Like you could edit it, you know, and put in like the subtitles and, you know, put in some fun little effects. But then, like, you know, like this just decreased your going above and beyond, having to grab the Twitch clip, download it, go to your editor program, and then split up the scenes yourself. With Atom's vertical plugin, you don't have to do that. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and go to this website. I'm going to be talking about how to install this. We've already did a video on how to install OBS plugins. This one is going to be like really simple and, you know, neat. I'm going to install it on my OBS tutorial software. So let's go ahead and let's see what we got going on. So if you look in the description down below, you're going to see where I actually have this website. You can click on it, and the first thing you're going to see is this, right? So this is for TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram. You know, this is where you can actually separate the canvas. You can make your own scenes and sources and set this up. And the greatest thing about it is that this is completely free. There's nothing you have to pay for. The only thing you need is OBS. That's it. Like, but I will say, on a more important note, that anytime that you're installing a plugin for OBS, you need to make sure that your OBS is turned off, that it's closed. Because if it's open and we install a plugin, nothing's gonna happen. And a lot of people's told me that in the past, and they shot me messages saying, oh, hey, I watched your videos, but when I tried doing this, it didn't work. And every single time their OBS was open while they were trying to install it. You know, it's like trying to install, you know, an update while the game's open. 90% of the time on Steam, you gotta update the game, then you can reopen it. Because, you know, that's just how programs work. Like, so yeah, just go with that, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and exit the OBS tutorial and everything else. And we're gonna click on free download right here. Valhalla, welcome on in. Great to see you. So once you see free download right here, it's going to literally go step by step on what you need to do. You know, step one, open vertical canvas windows installer.exe. It just opened up. It's already downloaded and everything else. We're gonna put this actually in my downloads folder, and I'm gonna click save, right? So now I'm saving it, and it'll pop up on the right-hand side, you know, like up here somewhere. And immediately it's gonna be like, okay, so where do you want to install this? Now, the thing about this is that I'm not going to install this where you're going to install it. 90% of people have their OBS studio literally in your C drive, which is in your program files, x86 program, and then all you got to do is click on OBS Studio. But because I'm just that much more extra for the OBS tutorial program, I had to put that somewhere else. Okay. And I had to put it over here, right? So I don't know if this is gonna work because the way ATEM works is that it correlates with some of the programs that C Drive works for, and it might not work in that manner, but like for my main OBS studio, if I have to show it, like it's gonna look messy, but we're gonna attempt doing this. I tried doing this earlier and I was having issues, but then like it worked, but then I wanted to install it with everybody being here. So I'm gonna copy the URL, I'm gonna paste it in here, and then that's where I wanted to save. So we're gonna click next, and then we're going to pray that this works. So we're gonna click install, finish. Okay, so now that we're done with that, all I gotta do now is I'm going to open up the tutorial side and we're going to see if it worked, which, okay, sweet. First time's the charm. We love to see it. All right. So behind my camera, which I'm going to like, just for this purpose, we're actually going to get rid of real quick. So as soon as you install the vertical program, you're going to see it show up right over here on the docket. All right. And you're going to see like all these different buttons down here because you can actually go live and you can stream all your vertical outputs that you have set up to multiple platforms. Those platforms include TikTok Live, Instagram Live, and whatever else you can utilize with this, right? So you have a record button over here where you can record the verticals, and you can also backtrack. Now, the backtracking is a really cool thing, right? So imagine that we could quite literally set up a hotkey where like the last 30 seconds, whatever just happened, I can click on this button, and what it'll do is it'll go back 30 seconds, it'll backtrack, and it'll record it, and then it'll save it, which we'll go over that as well. And then on the last one, this is the vertical virtual cam. I know some people do use like virtual cameras, so obviously to set this up, you would click on start virtual cam and then you would implement it in your vertical, right? Well, the other thing that happens when you install this that you probably notice is that you have vertical scene transitions as well as your regular scene transitions. And then over here on the left side, you're going to see it installed. Not only do we have regular sources for OBS, but now we have vertical sources. And the same thing with the scenes. We have vertical scenes that we can set up. So we're going to go ahead and dive in on like how to set up vertical scenes where I can have one for my chatting and one for my gaming, right? So we're going to go ahead and dive into that. But before we do any of that, we need to dive into the settings. So if you go over here, you click on vertical settings, you're going to see in general, this is sort of like the OBS settings. It's sort of like the same thing. The only difference you're going to notice is that the resolution is 1080 by 1920 instead of 1920 by 1080 because it goes width then height. So that's why they're switched around to give you that vertical layout. The other thing that I recommend doing is changing your audio bit rate to 320. I've talked about this in another video. Basically what this means is bit rate is information, audio, and video that's being sent over to whatever platform that you are streaming on or recording, right? This is for recording, streaming, and all that fun stuff, right? So that's what you need to do. Maddie, hello, welcome on in. Great to see you. Thank you for stopping on in. So on the left-hand side, you know, we have streaming, recording, help, and everything else. But like I said, let's focus on setting this thing up. So backtracking, right? You could set it to backtracking is always on, which I don't recommend, because if you do that, then essentially you're telling OBS it's going to, like, let's say you stream 5 hours worth of game footage, right? That means that if we set up the length of that backtrack recording for 30 seconds and we set the recording path, you're gonna have so many videos, like 5 hours, 30 seconds, like that's gonna fill up your hard drive really quickly. So this is what I actually recommend. What we're going to do is right here, I want to set the backtrack recording length 30 seconds. That means that I can do something, like if I do something funny on stream, I can be like, oh, I press my hotkey button on my stream deck and it'll backtrack 30 seconds of what just happened. It's sort of like the same thing with Twitch clips. You see it all the time, you know, everybody types in ! clip on their Twitch channel, and what it does is it'll capture the last 30 seconds, 30 to 60 seconds of what just happened. Backtracking does the same thing, but the cool thing about it is that we can set it up either 30 seconds or 60 seconds. Personally, with me, if I wanted to like not miss anything and I wanted to get the editing just right, you could even expand that to 60 seconds, which would be an entire minute, right? Now that might be a little much, but for me, I think that'd be cool. So the next thing is we have to make a backtrack recording path. So this is going to be you making a file anywhere on your computer, like whatever, like hard drive, if you have multiple hard drives like myself and SSD drives and everything else, I would recommend like making a folder and calling it, you could call it like recordings for TikTok, or, you know, vertical recordings. So that way, you know, that's what it is, right? And then we would click on browse over here, and then you just choose where it goes. For me, I have a D drive that has my the most space, and like I would just put it under YouTube recordings because it's probably going to end up being a YouTube short. And then I would just choose that, right? And then I can make a folder in here. So for example, like I have one called YouTube Shorts. I've already made one. And then I would click select folder. So now every time that I record something on vertical, it'll show up. Smitty, welcome on in. I hope you're doing fantastic. So now that we've done that, we can save a backtrack hotkey. Now you've heard me been saying this the whole time. Oh, I need a stream deck to do this. You don't, actually. You can set up a hotkey that doesn't affect your gameplay or whatever. If you have a keyboard that has a number pad, I recommend using that because 90% of the time, you're not using your number pad on games. Like, let's be completely honest. Like, you could set up any of those. You just have to remember yourself that you did set that up, right? Like, you could go over here, click on Save Backtrack Hotkey. Let's say I wanted to make it like number pad 1. That means that every time I press that, and like I was doing like, you know, like let's say I was recording or doing something, whatever, and I was streaming, what it'll do is every time I press number 1, now it's going to go back 60 seconds. It's going to save that footage, and then it's going to put it right here in this folder. Does that make sense? I hope it does, because like if I'm going by too fast, this is also a live stream, and I know people might be watching these recordings, so comment down below, like if this is helping you out, great. And also, if you notice that people in chat that I'm talking to on the live stream have a question during my OBS classes, the neat thing about it is I will answer your questions while I'm going through step by step. That way, everyone is staying, you know, in sync with what is being said, and nobody's getting left behind. That's the last thing I want. It would defeat the whole purpose of me doing this. So now that I've set this up, we also have backtrack runs while streaming / recording. This one I would keep on. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is if I start a live stream, right? That means I don't have to record with vertical, because recording can take up so much space. Like, I mean, 5 minutes of a recording, or 40 minutes, I mean, 5 hours even. If you're recording that whole time, you're also utilizing more CPU usage that you don't need to be doing. So if I leave this checked mark, that means every time I press go live, or the start streaming button, my OBS, anytime that I press number 1 on my number pad key on my keyboard, that now it'll just go back 60 seconds automatically, right? Which is actually pretty neat. The next thing we need to do is, oh, I didn't look over this, I apologize. You could also show vertical scenes in the main scene list. The only reason I don't recommend this is that if you check that off, where your main scenes are, it's also gonna be listed there. This is more of an organizational preference. There's no right or wrong answer here. So like if I end up clicking on this, then it's going, if I go down to scenes, then that's where it's gonna end up showing, right? So, you know, pick your poison, right? But before we, you know, continue any further, we gotta go to the streaming side of things, right? Obviously, we've already set up everything in our regular OBS for streaming. But this is streaming if you wanted to, let's say you wanted to stream to Instagram, or you wanted to stream to TikTok. Like, let's say you have that capability, because I think there's requirements that you have to hit. All you'd have to do is name whatever it is. So like, let's say you're a TikToker. So TikTok live stream. Okay, so like that's what this one will be. We'll call this one streaming. And then all we gotta do is click on the server down here, and then we would have to add it. Now, obviously you're gonna see YouTubes and everything else. That's fine, because usually 9 times out of 10 on every streaming platform, they have a server that you can pick, number 1, that is like, you know, related to it, that you can copy and paste. Same thing with the key. You have a stream key that they'll give you and allow you to use. Just do that, the same exact thing. Once you have all that set up, all you have to do is literally just click add. Now, when you hit add, what's gonna happen is like you can do multiple live streams. Again, be cautious doing this. You have to realize that if you're streaming on Twitch and TikTok, and let's say you wanted to go above and beyond and stream on Instagram with a vertical, you know, plugin, you're stressing out your PC. Like, you have to realize, like, you're utilizing so much bandwidth of your internet already. Like, multi-streaming on multiple platforms is great, but make sure you have great internet. There's a reason why I don't multi-stream. It's because my internet, I live out in the woods. And I'll be honest with you, it's really not the greatest. Hence why sometimes you'll see my camera go pixelated when we're playing fast action moving games, because on my end, I can't increase anything. There's actually nothing that I can do to increase it. So just make sure that, you know, you look up what your upload speed is and everything else, because that will correlate with your bit rate. But if you have the internet capability, if you ideally had the massive, awesome, big gamer streaming PC, all you'd have to do is go over here and you can call this one Instagram Live. Do the same thing, copy like the server settings and the key that they give you. That's it, you're done, right? So you're done with this portion. Now you would go down here, you would set your video bit rate. Obviously, the higher the bit rate, the better the quality, so it's not pixelating. That's really all it means. The higher the bit rate, no pixelation. The only reason my camera starts to pixelate, that has to do with an assumption of like other things like encoding and other things that I'm still messing around with, and I've been doing this for years. So like if you like, maybe someone in chat or someone down below that's watching this recording, if you figured out how to do that, comment down below. Shoot a link. You know, we're learning together. I learn, you learn. Like, that's what it's all about. The other cool thing about this is we can set up another hotkey to start streaming, whether it's through TikTok or Instagram. And again, you can set this up with one of your number pad keys. So I could set this up to number pad key 2, and then to stop the streaming, all I gotta do is hit 3. So you could do like test streams and everything else, right? This advanced portion, basically, you can either use your main OBS settings that you have for Twitch or your main streaming platform you already have, or you could unclick this and then set up the bit rate and encoder and everything else to what you want set up for that platform. Alabaster, welcome on in. Is that your Christmas tree in the background? It is. It is indeed, yeah, because Christmas time is right around the corner, and I'm ready for it. Also, my favorite holiday season. Can't help it. With this, I'll be honest with you, I have not streamed on other platforms, and I don't know what video encoders they allow, but yeah. Oh, Exeldro! Great to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate that. For those of you that don't know Exeldro, that man right there is the one that has created so many plugins, like, over the years to help out, like, by the way, big fan. Just want to point that out. Like, seriously, thank you for taking your time. You're probably very busy with coding and everything else. I'm just trying to show everybody, you know, a couple of things when it comes to vertical plugin and, you know, possibly learn a little bit of this or that when it comes to streaming, recording, and everything else. But welcome on in. I really do appreciate it. But yeah, as far as it goes with the advanced settings over here, like I said, I would look up to see like what their platform like has for recommended settings, especially when it comes to video encoder. 90% of the time, what I've seen like from other creators on YouTube, Twitch, and other platforms is that you can still utilize your main OBS settings, but again, if you're streaming on multiple platforms, just make sure that you got the internet and the PC to like handle that, because that's a lot going on all at once. So after you set all that up, now it's to go over to your recording. Like I said, we've already set a recording path, like the general, this is our general tab, but this is for backtracking. Now we have to set up a recording path. Like, let's say you wanted to record like 5 minutes of your match. Instead of backtracking, now this is where we would set up a hotkey for recording and where that would go. So for me, I would put this probably in my D drive, and then I would go to my YouTube recordings, and I would probably put in my OBS recording, select folder, and now anytime that I record using this ATEM vertical plugin, that's where all my files are gonna go, which is wonderful. I see you're showing a plugin I made. Yes, like, and I love this. I need to use it more. I'll be completely honest. I'm kind of a goober. I need to use it a lot more. It helps out when it comes to making like YouTube shorts and everything else, because your camera's already stacked up and you already have your gameplay footage. So this takes out that extra step of us downloading our Twitch clips, going to your video editor program. I mean, making life simple for us. I mean, I've been doing this full time for years, so I appreciate that. Like, truly, I do. I love to see how people explain and use it. Oh God, now I'm sweating because, ugh. I mean, if you have any tips and tricks, if I miss something, please let me know in chat, because I'm definitely down to learn a little bit more about this. Because I just recently like thought about using the backtrack itself, which I think is amazing. You know, I press a hotkey on my stream deck, boom. Last 60 seconds or however long I set it up for is now recorded. And I just think that's amazing. As far as video bitrate goes for your recording, this is a little bit different. So anytime you're streaming, your bitrate is limited to that platform. Every platform's different. YouTube, I believe, like you can, I don't know, I think it's like 12,000 bitrate or something crazy you can go to. Twitch doesn't recommend to, you know, like 6,000, 1080p, 60 FPS. With recording, you can go above and beyond because you're not streaming it. This isn't utilizing, you know, like our upload speed and our internet. Now we can increase it just for quality overall. So as far as video bitrate goes for recording, what I've been using, and I could be wrong, but like I usually go like, I don't know, like 12 to 15,000 bitrate, because, you know, the higher bitrate, the less quality that you're losing in your video. So, you know, I would say like start at 10,000 and experiment this for yourself. Like, I wouldn't go below 10,000. I think that's like a good bar for like recording and everything else. So I would set it to that. And then again, we can set up a hotkey for our recording. So in my like personal opinion, if you don't have a Stream Deck, that's fine. We're going to be utilizing if you have a number pad key, right? So I've already set 1, 2, and 3. 1 is my backtracking. 2 is going to be my my streaming, you know, to Instagram, TikTok, whatever I'm doing. And then 3 is stop streaming. Now my number 4 pad is going to be recording and starting it. And then 5 is going to be stop recording it. So that way, you know, if you don't have a Stream Deck, you can still quickly press these buttons and do it. Now, this isn't to say that like I can't go crazy. Like you could put like shift, control, alt, like you could like go crazy like with your hotkeys. It doesn't have to be just one key on your keyboard. You can set it up to like have multiple. Aussie Viking, welcome on in, by the way. Great to see you. Basic yet effective. I love it. Yeah, I'm glad. MVK meets AVK. The era of Viking Kings has come. I mean, I hope. We'll see. But yeah, and the same with this. You can use your main OBS settings that you have for recording, or you can uncheck it and then you can make your own. I personally like using, again, my advanced OBS settings that I already have set up, because I have a file name on like how I have this set up already. But ideally, like, again, you can set this up to be different, because let's say that I'm recording videos on my OBS and I want that to be MP4, because when I upload sources that are, you know, like media sources, that has to be an MP4 file. But let's say like I do want to go above and beyond and add subtitles and everything, and I want to make this an MOV file in my editor and then export it as an MP4 and then upload it to YouTube or any platform. You could also do that. So I like that this plugin has so much variety to it. Like it actually blows my mind. Like we can set up the audio tracks however we'd like. You know, there's a lot of audio gurus like myself that has different mixers. So like, you know, if you're playing music in the background, you could actually like take away the music and just keep the gameplay. So that way, when I'm uploading it to YouTube, I don't have like that music going on in the background. And I think that's like the neatest thing ever. Imagine that, like, let's say you're playing Stardew Valley, right? And you're so tired of listening to the same theme song over and over and over again. With this plugin, like, I don't have to go in my video editor program anymore and extract XYZ and do a whole bunch of crazy nonsense. Now with Adam's vertical plugin, I can set up an audio track in order just to do that. And I think that's wonderful, you know? And then obviously when it comes to your encoder, I'm gonna leave that up to y'all, all right? If you have AMD, you know, you can use AMD or NVENC, or if you have a PC setup, you could also use X264. I did a whole class about like OBS settings. Go back to that one. It would really mean a lot, you know, if you stop by and did that. Cosmos, welcome on in. How are we feeling? How are we doing? Great to see you. Appreciate you stopping by. I really do. I really do. And if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask at any given time. And then obviously, if you have any questions when it comes to this, there's also a help right here. If you're encountering issues, yeah, fun fact. I tried downloading this program and I had to go to Adam's Discord server. For some reason on my main OBS, it wasn't downloading the plugin. And I didn't know why. It turned out that it was one setting. Like, they immediately helped me. They have an entire server that helps you out, which, by the way, is right here. You can actually visit the Adam Discord. And they immediately, I think it was like 5 minutes. 5 minutes, like, immediately answered my question. They're like, oh, yeah, you didn't do XYZ. And I'm like, oh, I'm a goober. Roger that. Thank you for explaining it to me. And there's also, like, they have vertical troubleshooter website. They have guides to the website, which, by the way, if you haven't noticed, this entire time, if anything I'm saying doesn't make sense, there's a view guide button that actually explains everything. OBS, you need to do this. Why you haven't done this already, I will never understand. OBS has like these little question marks that briefly explains your settings, but imagine if there was a guide button like already implemented that just took you to a website and boom, like here's a full guide on how to operate it, and you could just base it off of your setup. Like, you went above and beyond. Like, great job. Like, Exeldro was the creator of this, and I'm absolutely loving it. Like, as soon as you click on view guide, it'll take you over here, and immediately it explains everything. They have a short video of them like quickly going through, showing the differences between the resolutions and whatnot. I mean, it gives you a step-by-step. It's like a playbook, you know, when it comes to sports. They literally are just showing everything, you know? Like right here, you know, like the audio bitrate field, you know, it's set up with 160, right? Now, granted, it says no, most users don't need to touch this as default. 160 kilobytes per second is acceptable value for most use cases. Like I was saying before, I set my audio bitrate to 320 because no matter if it's audio or video, the higher the bitrate, the better the quality. Like, obviously, if it's not going to change your microphone, like if you have one of those dongle mics, and then like my Shure 7MB microphone, it's not going to boost that quality to that degree, but it is going to make it a little bit more clear. So, you know, I mean, it makes sense, you know, why they have that set up, you know, at a default 160, because a lot of people don't even really mess with audio bitrate. It's fine if you leave it at 160. I'm just the guy that goes above and beyond, so don't worry about it. But ultimately, like, that's really, we have everything set up, right? We went through the streaming, the general, we added, you know, our live streams for TikToks and Instagrams and whatnot. We set up the recording pass, the bit rate, and everything else. Now it's time to actually create the scene itself. We're doing okay, getting ready to go shopping. Nice, for your mom's birthday. Happy birthday to your mother. Thank you. I've wondered that too. Exactly, Prissy. You know, like, I mean, I think that'd be really cool if they had like guides set up. But the first thing we're going to do is, before we start adding sources, before I go over here and start adding transitions, I'm definitely going to start with the scenes. I'm lucky to have the ATOM team members writing the guides. Oh, you have an amazing Exeldro. Like, first and foremost, if you don't know Exeldro, like, literally a brilliant man, and also you have an amazing team, right? I have been utilizing your plugins for ever since like you first started, like, you know, messing around with things, and I'm really hoping that one day when I do these OBS classes live streams that we do them every other Thursday, I'm hoping that it really picks up retention, because I enjoy it, because I don't know everything. I don't admit to knowing everything whatsoever. And I think it's amazing if someone comes in the chat and it's like, oh, by the way, this is why, like, and how you can do this. Because we're all learning together when it comes to content creating, which I think is an amazing, beautiful journey, right? But without further ado, let's make some vertical scenes. So the first thing you're going to see, this is going to be a tab. I went over this before, but like docking got easier with the new OBS 30 update, which, by the way, if you're not updating your OBS, please do it. I know in the past that OBS updates were absolutely terrifying. There were times that every time I updated my OBS, when it was at version, I believe, oh gosh, like 20, it was like right around like version like 23, 24, that it would absolutely mess up my audio, my mixers. It would reset some of my settings, and it was so frustrating because I would try to go live and everything was absolutely a mess. But OBS has gotten a lot better with their updates. And the other thing you need to realize is every time an update happens, we have to wait for the other companies to release updates with OBS. That includes Elgato Stream Decks or any Elgato product for that matter, right? Like, there's so many things that go with it. You know, your OBS plugins, you have to update those as well. So, I'm telling you right now, get OBS like all the way up to date. Go through your streams. It's definitely a life-changing experience, and it's so worth it. So, like I said before, we're gonna go over here to our vertical scenes, right? And like I said, like with docking, all I did was I put the vertical scenes, all I did was just slap this onto another one. And then that's how you get these multiple tabs down here. We've already gone over scene tree, which, you know, makes life so much easier with your scenes. So when you're adding a vertical scene, I'm gonna go ahead and rename this. And we're gonna call this one, let's say I have a main, like, just chatting scene. Let's say, like, someone gives you bits on Twitch, right? And you have TTS on. Maybe, like, there's a funny thing they say, and you want to turn that into a short. So we're gonna call this chatting. Like, this is gonna be my chatting, and I'm gonna also put vertical because it reminds me, like, that this is going to be a vertical scene. Even though it says it like literally right here on the top and at the bottom, it's good for my brain so I don't mix things up, right? So now that we have a vertical scene made, now we just have to add some sources. So I'm gonna add my Elgato face cam as a video capture device. We're gonna click on new because we don't have any right now. And we're gonna click on Elgato. We're gonna keep device default because the program has its own setup. I'm gonna click OK. So now, let me get rid of my other camera. Now I'm actually going to drag this out so y'all can see this a lot better. So basically, you can see my face cam now is represented over here, right? So if I wanted it to take up the whole screen, right? Like, you know, whatever. All you got to do is we're just going to drag this box until like it's all the way like towards the bottom. And I'm going to be the center of this. So I'm just going to sit very still, very center, and boom. Now I'm in the center of this portrait. And as always, with all your scenes, please lock your sources. I cannot say this enough. I say this once every OBS class. I see so many people get frustrated because they're clicking on multiple sources in their scenes and it's mixing them around, and it just like, please do yourself a favor. Lock those sources. If you're not moving it, it's gonna save you so much time. So I'm gonna go ahead and lock this. And now, right now I have a scene for recording, right? So if I set this up correctly and I go to recording, in order for me to record one, right, I have my recording path set up and everything else. With this setup, all I have to do is hit the number 4 keypad and I can start a recording, right? So let's go ahead and do that, and 5 will stop it. So let's do this. Hi, my name is MVK, and welcome on into the OBS class tutorial. I love your face. Make sure to lock your sources, please and thank you. That's gonna be the end of our video. Bye-bye. And then I hit 5, and then it stops recording, right? So now, if this, you know, like works, which it does, if I go over to where that recording path is on my YouTube recordings, and I go to my OBS recordings, it's right there, right? Like it's already set up. So, and it looks like a vertical cam. It's 15 seconds, you know, like it works. You know, there. Let's go ahead and do this. Oh, the audio's not on because I'm a good. That's on me. That's on me. Sorry about that. It's because of the way I have things set up right now. I didn't add the audio mixer. Fun fact, you're gonna need an audio mixer. So like, let's just go back and do this again. So, to add audio, I'm just gonna quickly go through this. It's gonna be your microphone. my setup is going to be completely different than yours. I have a Rodecaster Pro 2 mixer, so it's going to be on my chat. I'm going to hit apply. Okay, look. Oh, my microphone's there. Now let's try this recording again because that was a dumb move. That didn't happen. All right, let's try this again. Hello, my name is MVK, and welcome on in to our OBS class tutorial, where we're going to be talking about the Atom vertical plugin. Make sure that you show some support, all right? It's good stuff, all right? Download it. Atom's amazing, and they're going to be great for your content and make your life so much easier. Bye-bye! And then all I'm going to do is hit 5. So now, when I go back to where I have my YouTube videos and YouTube recordings, now it's going to show up and it's going to have the audio, and I'm not going to, it's going to be nice. Hello, my name is MVK, and welcome on in to our OBS class tutorial.
Look at that.
We're going to be talking about the Atom vertical plugin. Make sure that you show some support.
Isn't that nice?
All right? It's good stuff. All right. And now I can go in and I can record, like, you know, I could go back in my editing software. Now all I got to do is put in the subtitles for captions. That's all I have to do. And you'll probably notice that this did not have the music in the background. Why, you may ask? Because I didn't add a audio mixer for my desktop audio. I didn't add, like, you know, the music in the background. I just wanted to capture my microphone. So that's just a key example on how you would utilize this. Another way you could do it is, let's go ahead and we're gonna make a gaming scene, all right? So if you go over here, we're gonna go to this little plus icon, make sure it's under vertical scenes, and we're gonna name this one. Oh, quick question, I'm sorry. Will this plugin work with Stream Elements Live? SE Live has OBS included with it. That's what I'm utilizing. Yes, I'm utilizing that right now. Well, I've not tested it. It should work. So Exeldro, hello. How's it going, my friend? I use Stream Elements Live on my main OBS, which I'm gonna actually show you real quick. So let's go over here. So this one right here, So this right here is my OBS. I know it's Streamception. Bear with me. As you can see over here, I do have the Atom vertical plugin set up, and it works perfectly fine. So that's one less thing you have to worry about. So yeah, there you go. Don't worry, Exeldro, I got you back. So yeah, it does work with Stream Elements Live version of OBS, which I was like, I didn't even remotely think about how it could be different compared to regular OBS, but it does have some changes in it, so you got to be careful about that stuff. Anyways, yeah, gaming scene. So we're gamers, so we're gonna call this gaming, and then parentheses vertical. That way I know this is for my YouTube shorts and all that fun jazz. All right, so I'm gonna do the same thing. If I go to video capture device, all I gotta do is click on this one, which I should have named, but I didn't because I'm a goober. I'm gonna go over here. All I'm gonna do is just resize this. So now that I have this resized, all I gotta do down here is actually put the gameplay footage, right? Now, for this example, this is gonna be a fun thing that, you know, I'm gonna attempt to do. I'm gonna open a very, very small game of like Stardew Valley, because if I don't actually show you a visual representation and go all out for this OBS class, that doesn't really say a lot about me, right? So we're gonna just go ahead and open up Stardew Valley, and I'm gonna show you how like you can put it in and size it up, because it could be like, you know, it could be difficult at times, like because you could be doing multiple things, right? But 90% of your gameplay and 90% of games are going to be in the center of the game, right? And that's what we're wanting to capture. Now, bear with me. You might actually hear Stardew Valley in the background. For that, I do apologize. Boom. Or I could just mute it. That works too. Alrighty. So I got Stardew in like a little window, so that way I can like show off some things while it's going on. So if I go to my OBS tutorial, here's the game, right? So if I go down here, I'm going to lock this source. I'm going to go over here and go to good old game capture, and it's going to be new. And instead of capturing any full size, we want a specific window. We want it to be Stardew Valley. And obviously, if you want to capture a cursor on screen, you can do that, allow transparency. I don't like capturing third-party overlays because I don't like, you know, when your friends send you Steam invites and stuff, it won't show up. So that's something nice for you. Just click OK, right? So now we got the game window over here. All I got to do is just bring this bad boy down, and then like we can just stretch it out. Put it in the center, and then boom, like we're basically done, right? Not really, because it's still loading. It didn't properly load the game all the way through. So if I go to new game, all right, we can create a little farmer man. We'll call him, this man over here, we're gonna call him, OBS Guru. The farm name, Technology. Or, I don't know, we'll call it like Tavern. My favorite thing, I don't know. What is my favorite? I like mead. All right, we're gonna skip the intro just so I could like show y'all like what this is gonna look like with your capture device and everything else. So yeah, so now we have our game little character, right? So I want to click out. So if I'm moving my character around, it's capturing the center of the game, right? So, you know, obviously every game's going to be different. And what you could do and what I recommend doing is I would probably like set up like your game capture and make sure before you start streaming that day that you have it set up where you already have your game capture like set up, and like when you're playing a single player story game, whatever it might be, just you might have to move around the game capture device a little bit, but yeah, that's what it would be. That's what it would look like. So this is me streaming, doing my thing, you know, and then like let's say I wanted to backtrack, you know, so all I'd have to do is click my number 4 button. It records it, sends it to the folder. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now, let's say you wanted to go above and beyond. There's someone out there that always tells me or asks me this question. So MVK, what if how do I change the scenes without going into OBS? I only got one monitor. Okay, so this is the fun thing about that. So anytime in OBS, right? Now, this is something I haven't tested, but we're gonna look at this together because I'm curious. Okay. I'm pretty sure if my theory is correct, I might have to ask Exeldro. You should be able to set up a hotkey for the scene. I'm like 90% sure. Maybe. Let's see, backtrack. I just want to see if this is an actual option because usually this is with sources. You might have to, I mean, I know you can set up a Stream Deck button, but as far as OBS goes, like that would be kind of a cool feature. I don't know how hard that would be. I'm sorry, Exeldro. I'm probably making your life a lot harder right now because I know this plugin like really recently just came out, but not everybody has like, you know, not everybody has Stream Decks, but if you don't have a Stream Deck, then just make sure when like you change into your gaming scene, make sure that you change your vertical over and then just leave it at the gaming one and you should be set. As far as the Stream Deck goes, that part I'm gonna have to show you on my main OBS because my Stream Deck's not connected to this one. So y'all are about to get Streamception and it's gonna be beautiful. We'd love to see it. So as you can see, I have vertical scenes set up over here. The only thing I would have to do is go to my Stream Deck right here, right? And we're going to make a new button, all right? So like, I don't know what I'm even gonna name this button. I haven't even honestly tested this to see if it works, but Wouldn't that be cool if I did something and it like worked first time? I should be able to go to scene, theoretically, and then I should be able to scroll down. Okay, boom, vertical scene. So I have vertical scene, which is my just chatting, and I also have my gaming. So all I'd have to do is click on that. It's gonna be called vertical scene. And then I can go over here, do the exact same thing. I'm just gonna copy this because I'm lazy. But look at that. All right, and then I'm gonna scroll down and this is the gaming one. Right, so watch this. So I'm gonna pull up Adam's dock real quick. Vertical. Enable preview. So now, you see this over here. If I click on my Stream Deck button, it's gonna like, you know, go back and forth. So yeah, you're all set. It will put the vertical scene on main. Oh, interesting. Roger that. Okay. So we don't have a hotkey for it yet. Interesting. All right. So this is like something you have to manually do, but like maybe in the future, you know, like maybe that'll be like a thing for it, which I think would be really neat. But at the same time, the fact that you've already given us a plugin that allows us to like cut our workflow by a lot, I'm not going to complain. I'm really not. But hey, trial and error, you know, that's literally what content creating is. So yeah, I'm just gonna disable that real quick. Bada bing, bada boom. Bring this back up. Most people link the main. Oh, that's true. I didn't actually think about that part. I forgot that. Okay, so I missed the step. So chat, bear with me. So I feel like such a goober. That's on me. That is entirely on me. Let's open up the dock again. All right. Let's see, where is it at? Vertical. All right. So if I go over to settings, you can show vertical scenes in main scene list. I'm assuming that this is what you're talking about. So in theory, then that's when it should work, right? When you link them together. Right click a vertical scene to link it. Oh. Oh. I didn't know about that. Okay, don't look how many scenes I have, all right? Look, I've been doing this for 4.5 years and I know like it's a lot of things. That's why there's, you know, plugins like Scene Tree. That makes me feel like I don't have that many. So with this, we could actually link. Okay. This makes sense. So in this example, I would be linking my gaming scene, right? See, this is one aspect. Like, I'm still learning with this vertical plugin. Like, there's so much to it, and I feel like an absolute buffoon right now. Because in my brain, we could link this to like the gaming one, and then we should be able to show that, right? Or would I have to make a nested scene? I'm probably thinking too much into it, actually. I'm curious. I kind of want to like just test this out. So like if I click on cam scene, like if I linked it to my cam scene and then, interesting. I'm gonna have to mess with this. When main switches to that linked scene, vertical will switch too. Oh! So wait, okay, so chat. Basically what he's saying is if I go to link scenes for my just chatting one, I would just go to my stream room, right? So when I go to my stream room scene, y'all won't be able to see this, but hear me out. If I go to my main, oh, that's so cool. Okay, I understand how this works now. That's actually really neat. I like that. So, okay, let me show you on the other one. This makes sense. So, what he's saying, right? Let's make a scene. I'm gonna make a just chatting scene just so I can visually represent, like, I can show y'all what we're doing and what we're talking about. So, we're gonna call this just chatting in all caps. And then we're gonna make another scene and we're gonna call it gaming. All right. So I'm gonna go to my main sources for main OBS. All I'm gonna do is just add my webcam that I already got. We're gonna lock that source. So this is my just chatting, right? This is what your stream sees. So what I can do is if I go back to vertical scenes over here, I can right click on this one. I can go to linked scenes and I can click on just chatting. Which means, watch this. This is cool. I just learned something. I love learning. That means, right? Watch this. If I go to gaming, right? If nothing's gonna happen. But if I go to just chatting, it would switch it back. So let's make that one right real quick. So we'll go to gaming. I'm gonna add my source real quick. This excites me, man. So my gaming one, like let's say I want my box to be like over here, whatever. And then we're gonna add Stardew Valley. So let's go over here. Let's go to game capture. We're going to copy the same one. So here's Stardew, right? Put the game capture below your video capture and lock it. So now when I go over here to vertical scenes, I'm going to click on gaming. I'm going to link my gaming one with the vertical, right? What this is now going to do, chat, and everybody, is if I click on this button, right? That's the vertical scene. It's going to change that. But if I go back to my main scenes and I click on just chatting, oh my God. So, I'm sorry, Exeldro. I was trying to make hotkeys and everything, but you already thought of it. So, this man went above and beyond to where you don't even have to change the scene for vertical. You could still use your Stream Deck or hotkeys with OBS. And if I go back to my gaming scene, and I didn't even do this with my main OBS. That's really neat. So shout out to your team and you, Exeldro, because my goodness, like, that is really neat. I really like that I can go back and forth and I don't have to change my vertical. That is so cool. So yeah, there's another thing you can do if you want to have it set up. I definitely recommend with your verticals, I'm probably like, I have mine set up, like everyone has their OBS set up differently. I like putting things on top of each other. So like regular scene transitions, vertical, like you could change your transitions. Like if you wanted to, like, let's add one, right? Let's just go above and beyond. There's this thing called Luma Wipe. You could copy from your main. Wait, so I wouldn't have to set it up twice? That's cool. That's interesting. So, okay, I'm gonna do something, chat. So let's say that I'm Mr. Fancy Pants. And we got a, let's say I got a singer transition, right? I'm gonna call this Christmas. All right, Christmas, and we're gonna put in parentheses stinger transition. Then I'm gonna go to my video file and I'm going to go to my videos, and I actually have, if I remember correctly, I should have a Christmas one that I actually downloaded the other day. Oh, that's right. I put it in my YouTube. There we go. So if you have a bunch of different like singer transitions, you could just like go to it, find it. Right now, I can't find mine, which is, oh, there it is. Transition. Yeah, Christmas. Boom. So I implemented in there, and let's say my transition point's like 2,500. What is this? Oh, Oh, because I have it on my main Whoops. My bad. Don't worry about that, chat. You didn't see anything. Oh, because I have the hotkey set up. I'm trying to use my number pad. This is why I don't use number pads. Okay. All right, I'll use this 2500 ms. All right, use hardware decoding when available. Sure, it makes things look silky smooth. All right, that's fine. That's fine. I know. I forgot about that. So let's say my main scene transition is Christmas. I think it'd be, now watch this, right? So if I switch between my scenes, my regular scenes, it's gonna do Christmas, right? But the vertical doesn't do it. But let's say that I want it to be the same as my vertical. You click on the plus sign, and I can actually copy the same transition I already have set up. So that way I don't have to do it twice. So now when I click on gaming, that is so cool. And you also have to realize that the reason why it didn't immediately do it is also because of the fact that the MS I set up for 2500 seconds for the delay. When I went into my scene transitions over here. So that's actually really neat though, that you can just copy it. Like that's so smooth. That's a really smooth thing. Overall though, like I highly recommend that y'all get this. You know what I mean? I highly recommend that y'all get the ATOM program. It's very easy to use. It makes life as a content creator so much easier. You could do this again with your YouTube shorts, your TikToks, your Instagrams. Like, I mean, this is like the best way to make, like short form content. It's absolutely amazing. Also, you made it. I have to figure out my end though. I don't have sound. You don't have sound. Does the stream not have sound? I'm really thinking about getting that plugin. It's in the description down below. Also, it's right here. So once you click on it, it's completely free, which they didn't have to do. I'm glad that, I think that's really cool that it's a free plugin. Like the fact that like as hard as they work around the clock, ATOM's team, and everything else, I think that's absolutely wonderful. It's also multi-PC and cross-platform. So it's not just for Windows, it's also for Apple and if you use Linux. I don't actually have the ATOM. I use StreamerBot because I know that ATOM also has they have a software that can trigger things on your stream. And I've thought about like making a OBS class about that. But I definitely would love to try it. It did not transition directly because you just created the transition after OBS restarts. It should be the same time. Oh, that makes sense. All right, so yeah, learn something new. Thank you for telling me that. I appreciate it. Also, may I just say, Exeldro, like the fact that you stopped by, like really made my day. So like, shout out to you. Like, I really do appreciate that because I know I can't imagine the hard work that goes into coding and adding all these widgets and making our lives easier as content creators. So the fact that like, however you found me on YouTube or whoever's, mentioned my name or however you may have stopped by, it really does mean a lot. So thank you for stopping on in. I hope that the way I explained it was a good way of explaining it as well. I like to do step by step. I know there's a lot of creators that go like bam, 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 like all like back to back to back. I like to take my time with things and go at a very slow pace. And if anybody misses anything, then we can just go back and redo it. I think it's better that way. The other cool thing about this is like, I think y'all do have like things that you can, get ATOM today. Yeah, you can try ATOM for 30 days. Yeah, and they have like all the different currencies. So like, they have USD, they have British pounds, and they have euros. So I think that's neat on the website that you could like change the currency because currency is different all around the world. So like, I love how they go above and beyond. I'm not just saying that because like Soldier's here. I'm saying that because it's true. The amount of things that like, you know, they have set up is, it absolutely amazes me. And I'm excited to see, like, y'all started back in 2022. I started streaming back in 2019. And that was like very minimal plugins. So I'm excited to see like, you know, where this goes in the future. And, you know, feel free to support them as well, because when it comes to coding the team, like, and everything they're doing behind the scenes, I'm all about supporting, you know what I mean, when I can. Because I think y'all also have Patreon as well that I saw in there. So, yeah. Could be wrong. I don't know. You fixed it? Oh, great job, Alessi. And welcome on in. We was just talking about the latest vertical plugin that really helps out creators when it comes to recording or live streaming or however you want. And it's like everything you thought of. And I just think that's absolutely amazing. I know that Harris Heller, Nutty, and some other creators have also, Andy Lippy has also done videos on this as well. But I like to go a little bit more in depth with the classes. You should definitely get this plugin, Prissy. It's very easy to download. It's easy to implement OBS. You know, you download it. We've already done a video on how to install OBS plugins. Just make sure your OBS is turned off when installing the plugin. Because if you don't, then it won't end up working. So, yeah. Overall, though, I mean, I want to, like, do other things with this. I want to try different things with this. I want to see how far I can push the limits. I like pushing the limits on plugins to see, like, you know, what goes with what. I mean, because theoretically, if I can link scenes together, right, I could, you know, potentially, I don't want to give out my ideas. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of opportunities you could do. I always tell people when it comes to OBS and plugins and everything in between, test it out. Like, just press buttons, like go around and like, you know, see what works, see what doesn't work, and, you know, make it into your own unique thing, because that's what really stands out from the crowd, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm gonna restart this OBS real quick because I just want to see, like, I want to see, you know, the transition go at the same time. All right, let's see if that fixed it. So we're gonna go ahead and head back in here. So if I go to my gaming, there you go. See, now they're in sync. That's so cool. Oh my God. I'm gonna do this with my main OBS right after this YouTube live stream because, yeah, that is such a neat feature. I really like that. It's very smooth, very, very smooth. At this point in the video, though, I do like to do Q&As about halfway through. We do OBS classes for 2 hours every other Thursday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time. So if you do have any questions in chat, it could be about this plugin, it could be about OBS, Stream Elements, it could be about Elgato devices, maybe something's not working for you, or maybe you want to know where to get something. You know, I can tell you like where to go to get certain plugins or certain things you've seen on my stream, which I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. The link to that is in the description down below. Where do I get stinger transitions? There's a bunch of different places you can go to get stinger transitions. The one that I personally go to is owned.tv. They do a really good, they've been doing designs for as long as I've been streaming back in 2019. I recently went to their website, which we can go to right now real quick. If you go to their website, they have a variety of things you can get, you know, when it comes to alerts, panels, banners, emotes, badges, the whole 9 yards. And they even have like the maker where you can actually make your own animated emotes or badges and everything else, which I think is really neat. But as far as Stinger transitions go, to answer your question, all I'd have to do is like, I could just type this in. It's probably up here somewhere, but I'm just gonna type it in. Let's see. Stinger transition. So it's automatically gonna pull all that up. I wanna view all results. So this right here is gonna show like all the different types of Stinger transitions they have to offer for their website. They got a variety of them, you know, like with different ones that you can utilize. I mean, like this one, it'll show you like A, which is like one scene transitioning to the next. The smoke's kind of cool. It actually kind of scared me a bit. So there's this one, you know, they also got like black and white. If you want to do that, obviously that this is going to cost you money, and price varies between like each animated transition. So yeah, it just depends on like what you're going for, what your theme is for your channel as well. Like, you know, if you're like have a tech savvy one, you could go like, you know, a kind of glitch, you know, transition. Like, you know, if you play a bunch of zombie games, like they have like DayZ, if you play DayZ randomly, you know, that's a very smooth transition between one scene to the next. How many times have I said transition? Comment down below, because I feel like I'm going to be saying that a lot. They have like Skyla? I don't know what Skyla is, but like, yeah, it's like an anime thing. I have no idea, but the list keeps going on and on. So yeah, if you want, like I said, it's just own.tv. Like literally just type this in right here, and it's the E is with a 3, and go to their website, and that's where you would get it. So yeah, I hope that answered your question. Skadoosh. That's really all I have for today's stream. I was going to give some extra content. Like I said, like if anyone has any questions about anything, you know, when it comes to streaming, or just like general questions, in like, it could be literally anything. It doesn't have to be just OBS related. It does. Thank you. You're very welcome. I just like helping other people out, man. That's like the one thing I love to do the most. But yeah, that's like, I mean, as far as prepping for the class, the main thing I wanted to go over was like with the vertical scene plugin, or not vertical plugin. I wanted to mainly like go over like what you could do with it and everything else. I still want to mess around with it a little bit more just to see like how far you could go with it. Like, for example, let's say that you have your just chatting vertical scene, right? But let's say that you also like have your gaming. But like, what if you wanted to, what if you wanted to have a monitor scene, right? Like, let's say like you're looking at memes or something on the internet. Like, you would just do the same thing, you know? Like, you could actually copy the sources you already have. So I wouldn't even have to move this. I could go down here to copy my video capture device on my vertical plugin. Where's it at? Can I copy? Is copy a thing? Copy might not be a thing, chat. I could be wrong. All right, it's not. I'm a dum-dum. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Because what I could do, watch this. Watch this. What I could do is go to my vertical scenes. I'm going to make another one. We're going to call this one we're going to call this monitor. Monitor vertical. That way I know it's the, yeah. All right. So now that I've made that, I'm just going to go over here, go to my video capture device. I'm just going to resize this real quick. Copy and paste in vertical is waiting for changes in OBS. Oh, we're waiting for OBS. No surprise there. No surprise there. One of these days, I tell you. I think that's like we're just waiting for those OBS updates, man. But it's coming soon, chat. All right, it'll happen. We'll be able to copy sources. Don't worry about it. For now, just like do this, you know. So I'm gonna go over here, and obviously I'm gonna display capture. I guess I could do my other monitor. I don't want to show y'all like Streamception, so like I'm just gonna show you this monitor. And then all I'd have to do is just go to the center, right? And then just drop it down, whatever. Make it a little bit bigger. Just stretch these out, the corners, and then boom, done. And then you align it up, bada bing, bada boom, you're all set. So now I have a monitor scene where like I can go over here and be like, oh yeah, like look at this, you know, look, it's chat. Look at chat, that's amazing. And I could like, that's a neat idea that you could do, actually. You could like record your chat going, like, you know, everybody could say, hi, YouTube. And then like, I don't know. You could like size it up like on another monitor. You know what I mean? What's a good example of this? Like you could use your chat. You could be like, oh, let me show y'all like YouTube Shorts. This would be a good idea, actually. I want to do this. I'm going to show y'all something. You could totally steal my idea because it's like, I guarantee you someone already did this. But like, let's say you're reacting to YouTube Shorts. Do you know how like the YouTube Shorts look like this? You know, where they're vertical as well. So with this, I can press function 11. And that can make it full screen, which is not what I wanted to do. But like theoretically, I could like stretch this out a little bit. And like you could like, you know, do this. You know what I mean? And then all I got to do is like click play, you know, and then you can watch it with your communities. Be like, oh yeah, like that's really neat. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, there's some cool stuff for you. I wonder like, or a better way of doing it, because I was just about to ask myself, how cool would it be if I could have it full screened, but yet I already know how to do that? Because what we could do is I could caption, I could like either I could go to my display over here and I could do this, right? Like I could like go through, I could like size this up just right. I could get rid of the likes and everything. And like now, look, I'm reacting to content. And then all I gotta do is stretch this bad boy out. You could like put this in the center, and then another cool thing, how cool would it be if we could get a blurred vision, like a blurred thing in the background? Also, I can't see chat right now, which I'm sorry, like that's totally on me. My bad. Hold on, let me see y'all real quick. Okay. I'm gonna put y'all like over here real quick, just so I can like press buttons and do things. But you could like set this up to where if you're reacting to content, I could go over to like my vertical sources, right? I go over here, right? And I could just copy this, right? I wouldn't copy because copy's not a thing yet. We just went over that. I want to use display capture and use the same one. And what I'm going to do, because there's another plugin that adds a blur effect, I'm going to like size this up. And what we can do is we can add like a really neat blur effect to it where it's not like showing like the numbers and everything. And I can size this up and stretch it just a little bit, right? Because I'm trying to center this as much as possible. Could show a little bit on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. I'm going to drop this down. So I need to move like this one because I'm trying to match it up with the other one, but I'm also trying to add like a blur effect. So let me like stretch this out a little bit more. Do something like this. Like obviously I would get rid of like, I don't want to take up the whole thing, but you see what I'm getting at, right? Like if I scroll down to this one, like you see all these blur effects. So we're gonna use Ludwig. Ludwig, I need to borrow your face. I'm gonna borrow Ludwig's face. So like, I could go over here, right? And I want to zoom this in. I want to cut out all this other nonsense. And what we could do is like really, 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 really stretch this out. And now you'll see like it's in the background like this, right? So how cool would it be if I just like went to my filters over here and we went over here and like I wanted to add a blur effect, right? Which I don't have that plugin, installed with this right now. But you can install the blur effect like, there's composite blur. I do have it installed. Nice. So now what that's going to do, it's going to do it on the front one and the back one because I just copied the same display. But that's essentially like what you could do. So I'm going to make a new one. I'm messing around with this because I think it's cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete this. I'll have to resize it, which is fine. I'm going to rename this and we're going to call this one reacting video. I don't know. Now I'm going to make another display source. Like if I go over here, we're going to make another display capture. And I'm going to call this one, it's going to be the same monitor. And I'm going to call this one blur react or something. I don't know. Blur background. Right? So all I got to do is like basically do the same thing I did before. And I'm just going to like hold Alt. And I'm going to like resize this real quick. So we're going to hold Alt. We're going to get rid of all this. I'm going to try to match this up as like best as I can. I'm just like casually promoting Ludwig in the background. Don't worry about it. So we're going to do this. Get that like right there, the red line. I could get rid of the red line actually. That's fine. We'll just get rid of it. And then I'm going to go over here. Beautiful. We're going to stretch this bad boy. I'm going to put this below it. So now when I'm reacting to content, now all I got to do is go to my filters. I'm going to add the composite blur background. And look at that. Like without me like messing with it, like they have like different ones you could add, like Gaussian, box, dual Kawasi, and pixelate. Like you can make this look like an 8-bit. Like maybe that's going to make your videos stick out. Like look at this. How cool would that be if you saw like someone reacting to videos? It's like, oh wow, like he did an 8-bit. I don't know. If you're doing like retro games, you can do the same thing with retro games. Like make 2 game capture devices like with Stardew Valley. And then like you could like add like a little pixelated like thing. I don't know. Like that's where like content, like, and being creative, your creativity comes out. I like a little bit of blur. I'm not going to add too much, but like, yeah, like that, like 6.5. There you go. And then now like, it looks like, oh, wow, look at that. Ludwig's like doing a thing. Which I'm probably going to change this. And I'm probably going to like actually, if I was to really do this, like I'd probably get rid of this, clean this up a little bit on the edges, which I could go to transform and do, but like I'm kind of lazy. And then boom. There you go. Now like it's all set up for me reacting to it. Yeah, that's fine. That looks fine. There you go. How many of y'all would use this in chat? Or comment down below. Like, I think this is like a cool way that you could go above and beyond. And the cool thing about it is like if I go to my main monitor scene, so like if I make a main monitor scene over here, right? Main monitor. Or I'll call it like reacting to video. So I'm gonna make this, right? And all I gotta do is go to my sources Go to video capture. I'm just gonna yank the one I already made because I can. And then like, I'm gonna be a little box guy, right? And now I go over here. I don't need to make another scene. I need to make another source. Go to display capture. What I can do is I can add existing, or I could, which I probably shouldn't, because I'll show you just as an example. If I show this, right? Like, it's gonna use the same source I already have, which is like really cool. And you'll notice that it's not cropped out like it is over here, because they're two different sources for two different scenes, right? So like now what I can do is that now I'm reacting to the content. It's like, oh wow, that's cool. I can get rid of like my overall, like my URL and stuff, whatever. I could like stretch this. Like, look at that. Oh, that's so funny. Look at that guy's doing. Wow, amazing. That's cool. I'm gonna start using this with my main OBS stuff. That's cool. I have to give this a go. Yeah. Like, you could stack sources on other sources to give like that crispy, like blur background. So like now, like when I scroll down on my monitor and we're watching videos, like now it's gonna look like this. Or if you wanted, like, I'm giving y'all free stuff that I'm gonna do, but like, please steal it. I'm not even gonna call it stealing. Like, just use it, right? Like, we're all learning stuff together. Another cool thing that I would probably do is if I'm gonna be like watching videos, I think it'd be cool, especially if it's vertical videos. Why not? And I've seen some people do this, but like, I think it'd be cool, like, you know, just like make a side by side. A lot of people are doing this nowadays where I could just like expand my camera, you know? Obviously I'd have to stretch me out a little bit more, but like, you could do like something like this, you know? Or like, if you wanted to get rid of some excess space, I could like really box it up, you know, just to get it right with the sizing. And then it'll take up like the whole thing. Like, you would have to mess around with this to get it like just right. But like, yeah, you could do like something like this. Like, just like line it up and then boom. Like, how freaking cool is this? So now when I'm recording or when I'm streaming, like, I'm probably gonna make a scene that looks like this when we watch YouTube videos or YouTube shorts and I'm reacting to it. So now I can see it, y'all can see it, it's much bigger. And on the vertical ADEM plugin, when I'm recording, it's looking like this. Because before, what we had to do was we had to, when it came to editing, we had to like capture our webcams, move it around. There was a lot more work that went into it. I'm not gonna go too far into it, but I'm sure Exeldro already knows the pain and struggles that like a content creator has to go through to like jump through the hoops. And him and the ADEM team made it to where now all we got to do is download a plugin and then create the stuff ourselves. So like, yeah. And then when I scroll through, look at that. It's so flawless. If I wanted to go even further, you could even add a mask plugin that added like rounded corners to your source, right? So like, if I wanted like obviously it already has rounded corners, but like, I don't know, you could like add rounded corners for yourself, you know, like with the ADEM one, like my video capture over here. Like if I go over here and I go to video filters, effect filters, image mask blend, and then I'm going to call this rounded corner effect, right? All I'd have to do, you need a picture, like a PNG file, in order to like make the rounded corners like really nice. There's like multiple things that I have like that do that. But I made a vertical one. If y'all want that, like, let me know. But like, you could do this, and all you'd have to do is just change like the alpha mask to alpha. And now what it did as you can see on the left-hand side, it made my corners rounded. Which is like kind of like leaving the space. I feel like everybody does rounded corners now, which makes me want to do something else. Like you could also utilize this to make like little circles and stars and other things. I don't know. How would the Batman signal work? Oh, look, it's Batman. It's not gonna work too well because of the lighting. But like, yeah, you can give yourself a square, black square, whatever. I don't know. There's a bunch of things you could do with this. I recommend like just going out there and trying different things, but yeah. I think this is really cool. I'm probably gonna make this my main OBS thing, and you know, it'll make life easier for me. Because ultimately, like, I made this in like what? Like maybe 10 minutes. So I encourage everybody to like go above and beyond. And you could do like the same thing with your game scene. Like, how cool would it be if like we did the same thing with vertical, but we did it for our video games that we play? So like if I switch over to my game scene, right? So like, let's say like in my main scene over here and my vertical, I wanted to make it a little bit extra. Like I wanted to go the extra mile, right? So I'm not using all this unconventional space over here because I'm going by Stardew Valley. You're gonna have to change this with every game, but hear me out, all right? This is just with Stardew Valley. But most games, you're gonna be in the center of like the centerpiece of everything. So like, why not like, you know, I don't know. You could like put this like in the center. You're gonna lose some of your like video like stuff, but like hear me out. So I'm gonna make another game capture and do the exact same thing as before, except this one I'm gonna call something different. So I want to capture Stardew Valley. Okay. So now that I'm capturing Stardew Valley, I'm gonna rename this something entirely different, and this is gonna be Blur Game. Because I'm gonna blur the game. That's the idea. That's what I want to do. So we're gonna go over to effects. We're gonna we have composite blur, which we did a video about. If you want to look at that, go back in our OBS tips and tricks. You're more than welcome to do that. Yeah, Ozzy, I recommend this, dude. It's really neat. So like we can go over to composite blur. We can add this, and then what that's gonna do is this is going to add a blur effect to the game itself, right? So now in our vertical sources, it probably won't work because it, like, I don't think you could do 2 game captures, actually. Could I duplicate the source? Like clone source? I think, oh wait, no, I can't do that either. I just realized you'd have to clone, can I clone source? That's what you would have to do. I just realized that. Well, we gotta wait for that. All right, let's not speed up Exoldro, like, and his team. But there's an idea as well, like, you know, when we're able to do all that. So I'm just gonna reset this real quick. You just go back to where you were. You were doing just fine. Beautiful. So, like, with your main game over here, though, like, I don't know, you could have some fun with this. Like, if you wanted to like have a move transition where like the game was right next to you or something, you could set it up like that too. Like where essentially the game looks like this and it's like scaled down or whatever. It's like scaled down like this. You could use move transition and like you could like, I don't know, like have this like take over the screen, whatever, right? But like, obviously you would have to move things around, like, you know, when you're changing to a scene, like you're just chatting. A lot of people like have that set up. And if y'all want, I can go over move transition for the next class because I want to possibly bring it into my stream. Basically, like I don't think I have it downloaded for the tutorial. We'll download it for the OBS tutorial one. But essentially what happens with move transition is you get the source location and then you get the transform from it, and you can move it somewhere else. And when that transition happens, like if I wanted it to happen when I change scenes or I press a button on my stream deck, that's when it would like move it automatically. So like imagine like moving this up and down, but it automatically does it. So like the game would be right here, and then I press a button and then it would be back here. And then I press the button again and it would just go back and forth. So like that's a neat little thing you could do as well. But we're at the end of the video, and the last 15 minutes of our OBS classes, I like to spend like talking with chat, getting, you know, to thank everybody that came on in. If you've enjoyed anything about my OBS class, we do this every other Thursday. Obviously, holidays are coming up, so please keep that in mind. I'm going to try to keep up with the community posts as well, so make sure to click that like button, pound that subscribe, and hit that notification bell to get notified whenever we're doing something on the channel. But till next time, that's all I got for the OBS class for my portion, and we're gonna dive into the live chat. So if you're watching the recording, I'll see you next time. All right, chat, it's just me and you. Hi. Did I cram enough knowledge? Is anyone's brains hurting? But yeah, you know, like those celebrity moments when you look up to someone and like they stop by and say hello? Yeah, that's me with Exeldro. Thank you again for stopping by. I don't want to call you out from lurking or anything like that, but I definitely had like a fan moment. It really does mean a lot, and I think your hard work is going to go above and beyond and take you and your team places. Like I'm just excited to see like what else y'all tend to, you know, updates for vertical plugin, the widgets, and just thank you for like helping us out, man. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, is y'all's brains hurting? I know. That was a lot of helpful knowledge though. Yeah, y'all could use the stuff, like, because at the end of the day, it's not unique content because other people's done it. 90% of content that you see is someone else has done it. They just like kind of made it to their own thing. But I think like my creative brain's turned on. So after class, like after this stream today, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dive back into my OBS, and then y'all are gonna see new things on the Twitch channel. So yeah. And Aussie Viking, dude, like it's great to see you again, man. Prissy, Alassi, Cosmos, thank you for stopping on in as well. Like seriously, y'all are just like the absolute wham bam thank you ma'am, right? I'm still trying to get the hang of OBS. There's a lot to it. Like my biggest recommendation to people is don't overwhelm yourself, because there's a lot of things you can do, right? So like for today, I have like this big brain moment where I'm like, wow, I'm in the mood to mess with OBS. But if you're not in the mood for it, don't try to create something if you're not in the mindset for it. That's my biggest like thing when it comes to this. And if you want to learn anything, I know, like I said thousands of times, that there's other creators on the platform that, you know, I know, like Nutty, Andy Lippy, there's Harris Heller and his Senpai Gaming channel. But with me, I've been told multiple times that the way I explain things and how my brain kind of like works and everything, it's easier to understand. So I'm hoping that as we do these classes that share this with your friends. Like the more people that come in and everything else, it really does help out the channel a lot. And I'm gonna try my best to get some YouTube shorts uploaded today for y'all, you know, of things I've done on Twitch. What I should have did that would have been smart and a big gamer move is record from the Vertical ADEM plugin and then upload it. I should have uploaded that. That would have been the smart move, but I didn't think about that. It was Ozzy. Oh my god, dude, you're insane. Yesterday was just absolutely bonkers on Twitch. Like, I can't thank y'all enough. Y'all was going crazy. Good googly moogly. I was not like, it's the things that you don't expect, right? But yeah, let me know if y'all have any questions about stream elements, stinger transitions, overlays. Like, now is your time. This is your prime time. Any questions, I will answer right now. Oh, that's my quality H2O. Because there's some other things that we're gonna be talking about, like moving forward, which still blows my mind that this is OBS class number 10. I cannot believe that we've already done 10 classes. Like, moving forward, we've talked about the basics of OBS. We've talked about, you know, we're moving into advanced things like with StreamerBot, which I'm still trying to figure out how. I might have to download another StreamerBot in order to connect to the second OBS that I have, and in order to like show y'all how that works. How do I add transitions to scenes? Are you asking like stinger transitions, like animated ones, or are you just asking in general? In general, I'll show you real quick. Let me pull it up here for you. So, if you go into OBS and you're wondering how to like just move like things in general, this is how we're gonna do it. Let's go to just chatting. All right. So this is regular. Don't worry about ATEM right now. Like, we're just gonna do animated. Okay. So if you go over to scene transitions, there's a button that says a plus sign, right? You're gonna click on it, and then there's stinger. Right? Stinger means that it is a media file that you are putting into OBS, and it's an animated file that like, okay, this happens when I switch scenes. And you have to like time it just right with the delay. I'll show you real quick how this works. So with this stinger transition, I'm gonna click on it. We're gonna call this one, I don't know. I'll call it like, we'll do like another Christmas one. Like, actually, yeah, let me delete the other one. I'm gonna delete this one just so I could show you how this works. So this is gonna be my Christmas time stinger. So as soon as you click on it, it's gonna ask you what video file you wanna upload. The thing about it is you want to upload a video file that works with it. So if you don't already have a stinger transition, there's websites that you can utilize that you can pay for, like own.tv. I'm pretty sure there's also Visual Impulse. They do a really good job. And I think that Elgato, actually on their marketplace, on the Elgato marketplace, you could buy animated stinger transitions from that as well. So I would look into that. Once you buy it though, and you download it and unzip the folder, all you got to do is find, like, you know, wherever you placed it. So for me, I just made a transition folder, and like all I got to do is click on Christmas, and then boom. And then if I scroll down to preview transition, it's going to show that it went from scene A to B, right? And we don't want that. We want, like, you know, we want the stinger transition to be completely cover the scene, and then when it goes away, it shows another scene. So this is where you got to mess with the MS, which is milliseconds. So like 1 second's 1,000 milliseconds. 2 seconds is 2,000 milliseconds. You see what I'm getting at? A majority of transitions are usually around 1,500 to 3,000, which 3,000 is a lot. That's 3 seconds. But like, I know that mine, oh, I forgot about the hotkey. I know that mine is 2,500. Using hardware decoding when available, basically what that's going to do is it's going to make your PC life a lot easier when it comes to like how smooth the transition is. You could also preload the video to your RAM. I don't recommend doing that because, like, you know, that's going to require, like, even says right here, requires a lot of RAM. Yeah, I won't recommend doing that. Like, it'll work just fine, I promise. And then if it has sound to it, you can turn your monitor only on. It'll mute the output so you don't have double audio. So if it has audio, great. I don't like stingers with audio. That's just me. And then you can have like an audio fade style. Like you can have it like fade out to the transition point and then fade back in. That's the only time I would have audio. It's like if it like faded in and then kind of like faded out. I think that'd be a cool thing to add. But yeah, if I preview it, A is the first scene, B is the second, right? So if I click OK, now that I have added it, if I click on another scene, and then boom, and now that's gonna happen. Now the only reason with the vertical plugin it wasn't like synced in with it is because anytime you add a new stinger transition into your OBS, your main one, you do need to restart OBS in order for them to sync up. So just remember that. Right now I'm getting frustrated trying to switch sound alerts and images in Stream Elements. I created my own overlays, but every time I try to replace stuff, Stream Elements forces their own. I have some, I'm gonna have some time after the YouTube live stream. If you would like to get into a Discord call, then I could probably help you out with that, Prissy. Just so I can like, I don't feel like I could show you exactly what you could potentially do. Stream Elements is very finicky. I have like a big thing when it comes to using things like Stream Elements for overlays and animated sources like that, because when you use a browser source and you have a bunch of them, it starts to stack up in OBS, and if you don't have the proper PC build, it's gonna like be very lagging and it's not gonna perform the way you want it to, right? The other problem with it is that I've noticed with a lot of Stream Elements like overlays that they tend to like not work, and you have to constantly refresh the browser source. So that's why majority of the time I'll recommend Canva, which Canva, like you can make your own, and we've talked about this before. It is a free to use website. They do have a pro version, which I utilize because, you know, I do this full time, but I recommend like making your own thing. You know what I mean? So yeah. Do I add this to each scene I have? Are you this? Oh, you're talking about the singer transition? No, my friend. No. Once you add, like, once you have this chosen, this right here, anytime you switch between your scenes, it'll do exactly that. So for example, if I make this fade and I set it for like, oh, I forgot about my number pad. If I set this to, I don't know, 2,500, right? So now that I set this to 2,500, that's how long it's going to take. It'll do this with every single scene, and it's going to fade into it. See? I don't have to do anything. Like that controls all of them. Now you could set it up where a specific scene does have a specific transition. Let's say to reacting video, I wanted to click on it and there's no transition. You can right click on your scene and you can transition override, and I can actually click on cut. And what that'll do, if I go to just chatting, right? And then I click on reacting to video, it's going to cut. So no matter what I set my scene transitions to over here, I just told OBS that no matter what, every other scene is fine, but this one, I want to be able, it just cuts right into the scene. You don't have to do that with each individual scene though. That would be very annoying. I created all my overlays with Adobe Photoshop and PaintShop Pro. That's awesome, Prissy. I would love to help you out with that, truly. And ultimately, I have enough time for one more question, and then we're gonna wrap things up with this OBS class. Shout out to everybody that came out today. I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much for, you know, like, just stopping by. Even if you don't create content or you don't, like, you know, do all these things, It really means a lot to me because I really want this to be a very successful thing on the channel. I love creating things on OBS. I love for us to learn together on new things and explore them together. You know what I mean? Like, it's through trial and error. Like, yeah, sometimes, you know, during the classes, things might not go the way I want it to. That is just technology. And that is also true when it comes to streaming. So don't feel like you've been defeated in any way, shape, or form, because ultimately things just happen and you just got to roll with the punches. Just laugh it off, learn from your mistake, and just keep moving forward. That's my biggest advice. That's what I recommend. That's what I recommend. But if there is no more questions, we're going to wrap things up. The next OBS class, I will go ahead and set the premiere for it. It will not be next Thursday. It'll probably, actually, I have a charity event and then Christmas. So it might be a while till we do another OBS tutorial, or I might squeeze one in. I might do another OBS tutorial next Thursday instead of every other Thursday, just so I'm doing a charity event for the Starlight Children's Foundation. I'm doing that event December 16th. I'm making posters on it right now. I haven't like officially announced it and like, you know, really put it on my social media platforms and everything else because I'm still trying to organize everything. It's going to be one of the largest charity events I've ever hosted. It's going to be for 12 hours. I'm really excited about it. Thank you, MVK. I like learning new things in OBS. Absolutely. You're very welcome. So the next one's going to be December 7th. It's going to be our next OBS class. That's all I have. My name is MVK. Thank you for stopping by the tavern. Thank you for, if you've liked this video, it really means a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this, and comment down below on something that you would like to see with these OBS classes. Maybe something I can do better, or something that I can talk about that can make your life just that much easier. So y'all take care, enjoy the rest of your days, and I will see you in the next stream. Love your faces. Take care, everybody.